Welcome back to Rock and Ron Garage. Today, we're going to keep pecking away at our list. Now, I know there's going to be more items I'm going to add to this list, but we're going to try to knock off a couple. First and foremost, that shifter linkage. I got it down here. I'm going to see what part of it I can use. This is the factory 74 Maverick that came with it. I don't think I could use it with the headers, but we're going to find out. I got my extensions for my transmission cooler lines. They're right there. So I can extend it out to here and bolt it up to here. Here's that. That's got to get installed. I might be putting these brackets on, the shock towers, shock tower holders, shock holder towers, whatever you want to call it. I might. I went ahead and I got the oil pressure gauge, just a cheap gauge hooked up. So when I fire this thing up, I can watch it. And I put an overflow can on it too. So that one's ready to go, mounted, all tightened up. So I can add fluid to it, water, antifreeze, whatever. We should go ahead and throw the torque converter bolts in since we're up there. I also got a modulator line. Bought it from CJ's Pony Parts. So we'll make it work. It's for a Mustang for a C4. But I'll modify it to make it work if I have to. Get that thing in there. And that should be good enough for now. Yeah. We're really close to firing this thing up. I ordered some exhaust pieces, like a kit with different bends, straights, elbows, 90s, what have you. I ain't bought no mufflers yet, but I got these collectors so I can mock up somewhat of an exhaust to keep this thing a little bit quiet when I do fire it up and hold it for 20 minutes at 2,500 RPM to break the cam in. Yeah, I don't really just want it wide open headers. Kind of like disturbs the piece, if you know what I mean. Yeah, so we got that stuff to do. I could always throw the plugs in it, distributor wires. I think that'll be enough for now. I decided to take the carb off of the Firebird and put on here for mock-up just to get it broke in. So I'll be doing that soon too. So stay tuned and let's get after it. All right, shift linkage first. All right, I think I got it pretty good. Try to keep the light out of your eyes like usual. Here's the bracket we're working with. This is the Speedo. I can hook that up while I'm at it. If I can find my bolt. Okay, where were we? This bracket sits, that one sits on top of the frame. Should be 2 bolt holes. Yep, 1 and 2. Of course, I don't know where the bolts are, but whatever. Man, if I can fit that up in there, sitting like that, find that hole that this thing went into, that would be great. I think that might be it. No way, it ain't that easy. Wow, I found a hole. A hole in the block. I don't know if you can see it or not. See it? Huh, maybe I need to clean it out a little bit. And then I can get it to slide back and forth. Slide in more, because right now I don't think my bolts are lining up. Follow that rod right here. See where it goes into the block? I'm going to clean that out a little bit. Put these bolts, if you can find them, 2 bolt holes right underneath there. I got them. I'm going to put this bracket back on. All right. Here's that part I bought. Just an elbow and stuff. It's got a valve on it right here. It's got a valve. You drill a hole in your dump, run it up around, drill a hole, so it ain't siphon feeding out the inside like it used to. It used to siphon feed right out of that hopper. Now the hopper is gravity flowing. And man, it is night and day. Let me unhook my vacuum. Night and day of how good that thing works. Billow Harbor Freight, Central Pneumatic, whatever you call it. Yep. Really come alive. All right. Now, should I paint that bracket or just put it on? I think I'm just going to put it on. Okay, stay tuned. Well, let me just see if I can set you here. There it is. Nice and clean. All the way around. Still usable. All right, there's your bird's eye view right there. Let me pop some gloves on. Let me slide under here and put this on, and then I'll come up there and tighten it up. We got the linkage in. Yeah, I know it's gray primer, but it's all hooked up. It works. I got the torque converter bolts in. I got the speedo cable on. The torque converters were a nightmare. The bolts, a nightmare. Because I had to turn the motor over a little at a time. Then I finally put a socket and ratchet on the pulley. Then I had to climb out, spin it, climb under there, tighten it. And believe me, don't put one on and tighten it. You got to put all 4 in loose. And then you walk them around again and tighten. That's my little public service announcement. We didn't get to the cooler right yet, but it's next. So stay tuned. So here, let me check some stuff off the list. It's the routine. Okay. Shifter linkage. Done. Torque converter bolts. Done. Modulator line, we have it now. The exhaust dump, we have it. No, we're waiting on it. Got the plugs. Oil's done. Distributor and wires we got. Carb linkage. Nope. Got to pull it off. Front shocks. Nope. So okay, we're winding down. Well, back again on the old Maverick build. We ran into a little bit of a problem. Let me show you. Passenger side header from Hedman, part number 88400, is going to shoot straight towards the firewall. I don't know if you can see that good enough, but that dump right there is coming out right against the firewall. I did some reading today online at some of the Maverick forums, and they said the same thing. That's one of the flaws of this header. I wish I would have knew that ahead of time. I should have did some reading, should have did my research. Now I got to undo the motor mount, lift this motor up, undo the header, get that thing out, pie cut it to squeeze it together to aim it down. You know what I mean? The flange part. Aim it more that way to shoot the exhaust out. I don't know if you can understand it, but I'll show you when I get it out, which it's a bear to get this thing out. But I got to do it. I got to take off all that wrap, which I had destroyed anyways, beating the heck out of the header. And I got to notch it out, pie cut it, bring it back, weld it up, because I got the exhaust here now, waiting on the piping. But I got hangers, clamps, mufflers. These are the mufflers. Nice little babies for a nice little car. They're like the smaller version of what's on the Galaxy. So I thought I was going to be doing exhaust today, and maybe this modulator line right there. No, I'm doing exhaust all right. Add header. All right, let's get after it. Okay, what I have to do is pie cut here, here, you know what I mean? Cut a triangle out, bring this inward. To see where I had to beat the header. This is straight. Let me see if you guys can see this the same way I do. Okay, kind of sits like that. A little bit of an angle. That's really not that far off. So if it sits like that, this needs to go downward. So I'll mark that whole top. Spin it completely 180. So here. So. Yeah. Okay, here we go. There's the header now. Too bad I didn't leave the light on, but it's out of the way now. Yeah, should be able to get to that bolt. Hopefully that thing still spins. It's back on. Heater hoses are back on. What do I do with my dipstick? Sure, whatever. Alternator's back on. The wires, motor mount's back in and tight. Headers are in. Man, I was dreading doing that, but we got it. So I'll take my scratchy voice, go have a nice cold snack, and we'll try this again another time. I'll add more to it. Probably that transmission cooler on the front, because I got the extensions, the adapters, and all that. And we'll start on exhaust. All right, I'll be back. Right now we're going to go ahead and put on the transmission cooler, run the lines down through here, bring it out to here and mount it probably to the core support right here. I ain't going to zip tie it through the radiator. I don't like that. Yeah, it's got to come out this way. We'll figure it out.